computer. Hello, welcome, and good morning. We have very talented speakers joined us today. You will be pleased to listen to their initiatives in making women's and children's lives much better everywhere. If you have any questions and or wish to get involved in this work, please feel free to contact the speakers directly after the session is over. Their brief bio and their email addresses is posted on the website. You can also write your questions in the chat box. The title of this side event is Improving Health of Our Children and Future Generations Through Education. The aim of this side event is to understand the potential of social and economic impacts that quality education and improved health can bring in achieving peaceful coexistence for policymakers and individuals alike. This means planning for future and working together. So let's get started. All right, good. Okay. The focus of today's discussion, how can we all improve our children's lives and give them the best education uh, and improve the future generations? Women's Health and Education Center, its acronym is WHEC, was established in 2001 to undertake projects and programs with UN, WHO, and UNESCO, with the special focus on achieving education and health for all. In 2002, global e-learning, e-health, and e-government platform womenshealthsection.com was launched with the United Nations. In 2008, WHEC was granted special consultative status with the Economic and Social Council. We have very actively involved, and we've been doing this work with the United Nations for the last 2 decades and improving and strengthening the health and education systems worldwide. At the heart of our initiatives is the focus on eliminating poverty, hunger, and achieving UN's 2030 agenda. Today's agenda is the discussion of this side event will focus on how to achieve education and health for all, knowledge generation and dissemination for online courses in education and health sectors. LINK. LINK is an acronym which stands for Learning, Innovating, Networking for Knowledge Access Project, with special focus on reproductive health research, expanding UNESCO chair program, ending child marriages. I'm lucky to have two very talented UN representatives, Upasana Chauhan and Lucky Gill, who have worked uh, tremendously and in the ending child marriages in India, and they will be joining me to expand on this program. Fostering inclusive digital transformation and governance. Cultural diversity is now the norm in each and every country. By interacting with different cultures and customs, we will learn to respect the diversity. These are the groups that have more difficult access to quality education and good healthcare services. These are girls, women, migrants, minorities, people with disabilities, and disadvantaged populations. A coordinated action across sectors is needed for the greatest impact. There are growing number of studies that reflect the interrelationships between education and health, which necessitates a more comprehensive approach to health needs in schools, universities, and higher education institutions. The aim of the side event is to understand the potential of social and economic impacts that quality education and improved health can bring in achieving peaceful coexistence. For policymakers and individuals alike, this means planning for future and working together. Knowledge generation and dissemination, these two are very important and essential steps for all online courses in health and education sectors. Strengthening global trust and digital governance is a way ahead. WHEC's framework and recommendations are: number one, strong digital infrastructure, including interoperable systems. It is essential for bridging the digital divide and enabling interconnectivity for inclusive global partnerships, good policy making, and digital governance. Number two, international support and public private partnerships for infrastructure development are key to enhancing access to stable and affordable electricity, mobile networks, and the internet. Sexual and reproductive health are critical to health and well-being across the life course, and therefore has to be embedded and integrated with universal health care and universal access to all. Women's Health and Education Center aims to mobilize humanity's collective intelligence, which involves youth, education, civil society, governments, businesses, corporations, and stakeholders. The 17 Sustainable Developmental Goals, SDGs, are integrated, they are interconnected, and education and health for all is the backbone of this strategy. No one is left behind can only be achieved by building effective partnerships, civil society, and good partnership in support of member states' priorities and efforts. Now, Link Access Project. Link is an acronym. It stands for Learning, Innovating, Networking for Knowledge. Aims to establish in collaboration with programs in low and middle income countries to improve SDGs 3, 4, and 5, improving maternal and child health in collaboration with the developed countries of mutual benefit and mutual respect. This is the web link. At your convenience, please go on this page of Link Access Project and see the details. Our global health line is serving in 227 countries. Education and health are intertwined, and this open science global platform provides high quality, evidence based reproductive health research in 6 official languages of the United Nations. It has wide variety of women's and children's health and well-being information, and it is ready for various forms of collaboration. It is a public and private partnership with academic institutions in the USA, United Kingdom, Ireland, and many developing countries. We plan development together. This is the most popular online portal and resource to access information on health and related social sciences. This is our timeline, and these are our projects and promises. And this is our brief history since the establishment in 2001. Our special focus is on maternal and child health, Special thanks to UN Chronicle for publishing this article titled Improving Maternal Health Through Education as the lead paper for the Millennium Developmental Goals. This can be easily accessed from the UN Chronicle or from our website. Our open science platform also addresses discrimination, poverty, and inequalities reduction, including those based on disabilities and gender, and bilateral and multilateral donors commonly provide technical assistance to support governments in achieving their goals in these areas. This is a hope in Africa. Our main focus on this, most of the side events we undertake with United Nations is on sustainable developmental goals learning, and global partnership for education and health is our focus. Advocacy and availability of preventive services such as birth control, psychological counseling, and testing for sexually transmitted diseases are essential services, and our initiatives recommend them. Now, creating a world where everyone thrives through education and health is the focus and at the core of our initiative. As a multi stakeholder and intergenerational platform for collective action for gender equality, our global initiative will be an asset to all UN member states. We suggest that fostering and creating societies where everyone is included is a way forward. This helps in digital transformation of underdeveloped areas. Resettlement opportunities for migrants should be complemented by labor migration, family reunion, scholarships, and other migration avenues. These efforts should not be neglected. Now, summary and takeaway messages. The aim of this NGO is to understand the potential of social and economic impacts that quality education and improved health can bring in achieving peaceful coexistence. For policymakers and individuals alike, this means planning for the future and working together. WHEC aims to build the capacities of higher education and much more. Please review the road we have traveled. Link has been provided to you here at the convenience, and review our framework for the future development of our initiatives. Hope you join us. Now, this is a statement, I love it very much. Even though each country has its unique culture, economics, and politics, they all share similar challenges. This whole world is a developing country. Some have a longer way to go than others. Thank you very much. And that's my email address. Please feel free to contact me. And now it's indeed my pleasure to hand over the platform to uh, NGO representatives. Upasana Chauhan, she has bad laryngitis, so she will assist, Lucky will assist her, and they both are presenting ending child marriages. So go ahead. Go ahead, Upasana and Lucky. Take the floor. All yours.
Thank you so much, Rita. And I'm sorry for my voice, everybody. I hope at least I'm understandable a little bit. Maybe Lucky, if you can, or maybe I can quickly share my screen. Let me figure out just a second.
I can do it if you want.
Yeah,
Just
can you please share that slide and then we can switch?
Okay, yes.
1 second. Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Upasna, and I'm a UN representative for WHEC, Women's Health Education Center, and also UN representative for Manna Campaign. I'm from India, based in New York City, and I've been working with a lot of grassroots organizations since many years. Girls' education is something very close to heart, because I've seen how the lives of the girls were changed and not changed because of the education. And lucky is this slide. Let me quickly, yeah. Uh, you can go to the next one,
No
please. Next slide, please. Come back. So
Okay.
This is a picture of the girl. I think we need to mute the fifth person. Yeah, thanks.
Go ahead.
So this is the picture of the International Girl Child Day this year, which happened very recently from Rajasthan. This is from a girls' school in a very rural area in Rajasthan, where they do not have access to a lot of basic requirements also. The school dress is provided by the government. However, the sweaters, because it's winters, or the stationaries and other stuff, even though there's laws, there's budget, is not adequately provided to the girls. This is one of the picture from the event. Next slide, please. This is a video. Can you please play it, Lucky? It's a video actually.
Um,
Let me do one thing. You know what? Let me quick. You can stop sharing. Let me start sharing. 1 second.
okay.
You stop it. Just give me 1 second. I have to.
Wasna, play your old link, previous link.
Yeah, actually, so for some reason. Get it. You go ahead, share. It's not happening for some reason.
It's not coming in as a video, actually, too.
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh, if you click on it or browse on it, no,
No, I'm not getting it.
it's okay.
Oh,
Forget
it is. I got it. 1 second. Let me share it with you guys.
some problem with my system.
Yeah.
Let
Sorry,
me-
guys.
It's okay.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Not sure how.
Yes.
इसमें क्या करोगे आप? Very good.
So this is just a very small video that I shared from that event that day. The point is that we are living in such privileged worlds in today's world, and we think that there's nothing that we can contribute to improve these girls' lives. The whole point of showing this video is to show that the packet that you see in her hand is just few crayons and paper, maybe one or two candies, that's it. But she was like so happy and telling everybody that now she wants to go home. She cannot wait and start coloring, and then she can think about something. So the point is, even small things that we can contribute towards girls is going to make a big impact on their brain, on their mind, on their thoughts. And then it starts with coloring and drawing or contributing a little amount, but it goes very long way. So we don't have to contribute a lot or donate too much. But even if we can contribute small little bit, we can help them. But assuming that it's the problem doesn't exist is the biggest problem.
Mhm.
So the next slide, please. So this is something I call it a power and weakness of women's women's circle. So this is a story of a few women in this again in this village in Rajasthan, and so they were sitting. So they generally gather in a circle every day after the kids are off to school and everything. Then they just gather around and they share everything about their lives and discuss. And this women's circle is very close knit and very strong. They share everything about them, and they're each other's support system, emotionally and financially also. Sometimes they lend each other money as well and help each other as well. However, none of them are educated enough to guide each other health wise or medically. One day a mother came in to the group, and uh, she showed these women, because these are women's space safe spaces. She showed these women that her uterus is falling out of her body. It was literally hanging out her body. The other women of the circle saw it and they normalized it, saying, "Oh yeah, this happened to us as well. See this. All of most of them we have it. Once you have kids, after your after a few years, it's very normal for the uterus to fall out. You just pick it up and put it back inside." I don't know how are these women normalizing a body part falling out of their body. They're putting it back inside and living their life and working as normal that they are. They have, it's not even like a big deal for them. So the point that Rita's was mentioning is so important. And we go into all these policy making meetings and discussions and all these policy documents. We do read the words SRH, sexual reproduction and health, but we don't understand the depth and impact of it until we actually work with the grassroots community. So we have to understand that these policies that we are recommending to the governments, or the governments have these policies, it's our responsibility as civil society as well as the government responsibility in public private partnerships, like Rita mentioned already. We have to implement them, that they reach out to every single woman, that they are not shushing about these topics. They're not living with their organs falling out of their body and they're just shoving it back in and just living their life. And this is 2025. This is not something that's happened in the past, or this is very recent. So Lucky, do you mind going back to the very first 2-3 slides back?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, it's taking me back to, sorry, it's taking me back to the video.
It's okay.
This was
Now coming back, why are women living this kind of life and not even being educated? Is because child marriage is much more likely to happen, first of all, to girls than to boys. 86% of minor girls are getting married, whereas 14% of minor boys are being, but boys are also being married as a child marriage. For them is also it's happening as well. This is the starting point. Lucky, we can skip the other ones. We can go back. And if you see, child marriage is defined as the marriage before the age of 18, which is applicable to both boys and girls. And if you see, more than 140 million girls were child brides, according to UNFPA, between 2011 and 2012. So if current level of child marriages will hold, then every single day, 39,000 girls will get married every single day before the age. And so we have to understand the numbers here that are in play as well. Next, please. And this is not a this is one point that I always bring up. It's not a globe. It's not like just a developing country issue. It's a very global issue. Whenever we look at child marriage, we often think it's as a third world country issue, and this is not happening in developed countries like US or Europe or whatever. It's as much as a problem in US as well. And when I was working on the laws of of New York City as well, and New York State in 2017, I discovered that up to 2017 the child marriage was very legal in New York City as well. It only in 2017 it became illegal, and even now it's legal for the loophole. It's with parental and judicial consent, 17-year-olds can still marry, and from 14 to 18 there's still a loophole. So it's nearly 300,000 children under 18 age were legally married in US between 2000 and 2018. So if child marriage is not properly addressed, we cannot meet the 2030 goals, and education is the beginning to empower our nations. And um, this is basically, this picture is also you as some of you might or might not know, is of our very own Lucky Gill. She was herself a child bride, and we have to understand how we can completely flip the future of not only the bride but also her future generations once we cut, even if there is a child marriage involved, but we bring in education in the picture. Lucky Gill is also a child bride. She got married when she was 15 and a half, and she had a daughter also was very she when she was very young. But today Lucky is the voice for a lot of girls. Her daughter is a very successful lawyer. So the future is completely changed, and we have to understand that we have to address it at every step. Traditions, poverty, gender inequality, lack of education. We cannot just address one and imagine that the others will be solved. So, education is educate one girl, you empower a generation. And when girls are empowered through education, they can change the world. Which, from Lucky's example, like I said, her daughter is very empowered. Her daughter will be empowered further. But I wish other child brides could also have the same future. That's Lucky standing right next to her wedding dress, giving us her, she's presenting her story in a women developer conference in Canada. And that's her picture as a bride. And that's me on the right, on the left, with girls in the state of Rajasthan when we went for a International Girl Child Day. And the next, please. So yeah, look at these young kids, and it's really like it's an enactment to stop child marriage. However, it's not happening. Girls need to study, don't marry them off. We are having so many campaigns running in the school to educate the girls and boys as well, basically kids. So education for girls definitely help reduce violence and poverty and contributes to better health for girls. um yeah, the same thing is basically empower, you have to go empower the girls with education and promote gender equality, encourage supportive laws and child protection policies. When we say encourage supportive laws, is also that basically ensure that they are implemented, hold your local authorities accountable, hold your state government accountable, and your country as well, and educate parents and raise awareness about child marriage. The most important thing is report if there is any child marriage that's happening around you, because shushing it out is not going to help. And do not be part of any events that promotes child marriage. A lot of ministers are called for ribbon cutting for the mass child marriage events. Somehow it's still happening. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for being patient with my sound.
Well, thank you very much, Upasana, for sharing. Hope you feel better. But Lucky will take over from here. Go ahead, Lucky.
Too lucky.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Okay, good morning, everybody. You guys can all hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay, and as a goalkeeper, I have consistently always worked on the major goals to advance the education and empowerment of women and girls. And for myself, I am one of the NGO representative of Women's Health and Education Center, and also the founder and president of Global Girl Power Foundation here in Canada. So I will keep it very concise, and I have a video at the end to play as well. And basically, my role today was just to work on the education and health and how they are interlinked, and for us to achieve the goals that we are all working towards 2030. So basically, investing in girls' education and health is not just an opportunity. We have to understand that it is the only path to a sustainable and equitable future. When girls receive quality education and healthcare, they can break the cycle of poverty, as Upasana mentioned. When you educate one girl, she will become the light of not just her household, but also her community. She will educate the men around her, the women around her. So we have to contribute to their betterment through education and giving them a better healthcare. And as a goalkeeper for SDG 3, which is good health, then number 4 is quality education and gender equality. I believe that empowering girls is the foundation for just and thriving world. By ensuring they have the resources and opportunities to learn and thrive, we are building resilient communities and driving global progress for generations to come. So basically, each girl, one dream, same dream that I had was educate me for a better world. Again, the global landscape is there's only some numbers. I really don't want to bore everybody with the numbers because we all work in the field and know the numbers are very scary. According to UNESCO, 129 million girls are out of school worldwide. And there's a latest report by UN that the world is failing girls and women. That's kind of the, I think, headline. So women make up more than 2/3 of world's 796 million illiterate people. Despite the global efforts, the gender snapshot of 2023 warns that if current trends continue, over 340 million women and girls, an estimated 8% of world's female population, will live in extreme poverty. And this is all because they will be illiterate. The same time, I wanted to mention we cannot forget the effect of the wars that are currently going on, and then the wars that we have recently faced. The conflict zone brings it's a serious threat to gender equality. They are subjected to violence and abuse, don't have rights to their health care, sanitation, education, freedom. Everything is undermined. The biggest risk, the number one risk that they face is gender-based violence, and they're exposed to rapes and abuse and the torture in the war condition, and they're objectified and often kept undercover. They are used as weapons of war, and again, the last part is that more than half of our world's conflict-related refugee population is made of women and children. So this is one big one that we cannot forget, that the war is not just between the countries and the cities. It's usually the biggest victims are the children and women, and mainly young girls as well. We also have to understand that health and education, they're interconnected. So education, it can create better opportunities for health, but poor health affects the education outcomes as well. So basically that the balance between the both is very, very important. Some of these points are very similar, that empowering the education, promoting gender equality, encouraging supportive laws. And as Upasana mentioned, we have to hold these policymakers accountable as well, and providing support for the development of adolescent girls, whether that is by providing at grassroots levels, any help that we can provide is very essential. It's not just policy making and sitting in the offices. It's also going to the communities and working with the people that are on the ground. I hold the same sentiments that education and power is the only key. A girl that when she's educated, There's a reduction in child marriage. She is more safe, and she will be immunized, and she can educate her kids better, reverse the climate change, earn more, um, bring more, be more prepared, and contribute to better society. So similar, educated girls are more likely to know more about their health and hygiene. So basically, we can put an end to child marriages and early childbirth. That's what an educated girl will bring to the family. Sexual and reproductive health. They're more likely to have more knowledge and concern about their sexual and reproductive health. They will be in leadership roles. So we need to encourage women and make space for them, create a safer society for them as well, so they can be in the leadership roles. As we mentioned, education is just that one spark. When I had it, I was able to pass it on to my girl, and I'm sure she is going to empower millions of other girls. Overcoming barriers. We kind of all talked about it, removing barriers, addressing the financial barriers that come, and transportation issues in a lot of rural areas, and creating safe and inclusive schools. This is another big one that we're seeing, that safety is a huge issue, and improving the quality, investing in better teacher training. The world is turning a lot towards technology, so providing computers and other support to these rural schools is very important as well. Engaging with the community, promoting gender equality, whichever way is possible, through policies, through community engagements. And path forward, again, I also believe in women's circles. I also believe in grassroots work, and that I believe is the one and the only way. Collaboration is the key. Investing in digital education and infrastructure, global commitment to girls' education and health, bridging the gap. When we say call for action, there's collective efforts that are needed to build a future where every child, regardless of the gender, has the opportunity to learn, thrive, and lead. When I read all this, one thing that comes to me is when that little girl was given crayons, something sparked inside her that she said, "Oh, I'm going to create this." It's that one spark that once that sparks in a girl, that is when the change starts to happen. And you will see it in a video at the end, through Girl Effect that I brought together. That is what we need to spark. That could be a girl in our neighborhood. It could be another female at our work. It could be a male at our work, that we just need to provide that safe space for them to thrive, to share, to empower them, ask them how we can empower and educate. Again, as you guys know, that I'm also the founder of Global Grow Power. We envision a world where positive change spreads globally from one woman and girl to another. We aim to provide resources and education to support the learning and growth of young girls, and to provide women with support and tools to create sustainable means of income. Because I believe that when a woman is empowered with support and education, she is then able to recognize the brilliant potential within her and become the light of an entire community. She is more likely to stand against violence, earn a greater living, have a healthier family, support others in her community, and continue to surge that. And that, I believe, is girl power. And girls, it doesn't matter where they are, US, Canada, India, war zones, Africa, around the globe, our problems are the same, the solutions are the same. We must understand that together we are stronger.
On this earth to be
This is the
invisible.
video.
I was not promised
So
to be invisible. I was not born to be denied. To be denied. 我生来不是要被人否定。I was not given life On this only earth to belong to to be someone invisible. else. Only I was to not belong born to to be someone else. denied. I belong to me. To me, I belong to me. I have a voice. I was not given life.
So I'm gonna replay the video again. It's very powerful. I think I double clicked, so please let me play it again.
On this earth to be invisible. I was not put on this earth to be invisible. I was not born to be denied. To be denied. 我生来不是要被人否定。I was not given life only to belong to someone else. Only to belong to someone else. I belong to me. To me. I belong to me. I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a voice and I will use it. And I will use it. I have dreams unforgettable. I have a name. I have a name. I have a name. And it is not anonymous. It is not anonymous. Or insignificant. Or insignificant. Or unworthy. Or waiting anymore to be called.
Someday they will say, this was the moment when the world got out of my way.
When the world got out of my way. This was the moment I was allowed to be astonishing. Astonishing. To be astonishing. To be astonishing. This is the moment when my rising no longer scares you. C'est le moment où l'ascension ne vous fait plus peur. This is the moment when being a girl became my strength. Became my strength. My strength. My strength. My strength. Not my pain. Not my pain. And not my pain. This is the moment. This is the moment when the world sees that although I'm held back by every problem, I am the key. I am the key. I am the key to all solutions. I am the key to a solution. This is a moment when a girl and 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 250 million other girls. 250 million. 250 million other girls. 250 million other girls. Say with voices loud. Say with voices loud. Say with voices loud. Say with voices loud. 别让voz alta. 在高声呐喊. Say with voices loud. That this is our moment. Porque este es nuestro momento. That this is our moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. This. Yes, this is the moment.
So this ends my presentation. So that is the
Oh,
spark we need to
thank
create.
you. Thank you very much, Lucky and Upasana. It's a marvelous work you ladies are doing in India and everywhere. And I thank you. And I hope, Upasana, you feel better. And next time we will hear your strong voice. Okay, now my pleasure to give the floor to Anika. She's a lovely young lady from Bangladesh originally, but she is in USA now, and her work in gender equality is second to none. She's a Harvard graduate and making a difference in the world. Go ahead, Anika. All yours.
Thank you so much, Rita, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you so much, Upasana and Lucky. It's been a powerful presentation and loved hearing all about your amazing work. That's super inspiring. So I'll try sharing my screen. Please let me know if it's visible. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So imagine a world where every child grows up knowing their worth, where education doesn't only teach math and science, but also respect, equality, empathy, and the power to stand against injustice. Now think about this. What if the key to ending gender-based violence isn't just laws or punishment, but education itself? So, ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. This is Anika Subahmed Upoma. I am an alumni from Harvard Graduate School of Education, a social entrepreneur, founder of a nonprofit organization, Evolution 360 from Bangladesh, a UN representative at Man Up campaign, and currently working as a New York State employee at the University of Albany in the Title IX administration. So I'm basically in charge of handling all the complaints from students related to sexual harassment and assault in the university, and also with the duty to prevent these from happening. So today I'll be talking about the powerful role of education in combating gender-based violence. As we all know, and we have heard it from our previous speakers, that education is a very powerful tool, which is not only used to inform, but to transform societies, break cycles of abuse, and create a future where violence is no longer tolerated. So let's dive in. My content will be introduction, some definition of gender-based violence, anti-violence pyramid model, some evidence-based educational interventions, some suggested interventions, and conclusion. Starting with the definition, so as per United Nations, any act of violence that results in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to men, women, or other gender, whether occurring in public or private, can be termed as gender-based violence. And here are some statistics from United States that about 22% of women and 7% men have experienced gender violence in their lifetime. And about 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men experience sexual violence in their lifetime. And about 91% victims of rape and sexual assault are female, and 99% the perpetrators are male. So we all know the statistics, but this is just to give a glimpse of what is happening around the world. Even in a super developed country like USA, there is violence that we see every day. Which brings us to classify the gender-based violence, which is basically can be classified into 2 types. So implicit and explicit. So to briefly describe, implicit gender violence is a form of violence that is not explicitly stated, but is still present. These are basically things like joking, teasing, giving sexual remarks, sexist comments, inappropriate advances on social networking sites, sharing private image or videos without consent, etc. On the other hand, explicit gender violence is a form of violence that is based on gender and of a sexual nature. Some examples are assault and rape, sexual harassment, physical abuse, intimidation, and so on. Now, we might think like implicit violence is not that much, important, or it's not that much serious. The more serious ones are explicit, but you'll be amazed to know the link between the implicit and explicit violence, which is basically on my next slide. As you can see, this is basically the pyramid model, the iceberg model, where you can actually see how implicit violence gives rise to explicit violence eventually. So in the picture, you can see in the iceberg underwater, there are things like sexist or homophobic comments, jokes, bullying, shaming, giving threats, and all, unserious stuffs of the society that are normally normalized among youth and young adults. But unfortunately, all these things, after getting normalized for a long time, eventually gives rise to explicit violence like rape, sexual violence, verbal abuse, stalking, physical harm, genocide, and things like that. So it's all in the attitudes and beliefs, which gradually gives rise to homicide and physical expression and more serious crimes. So it is very, very important for us to understand that the implicit violence should not be normalized at any cost. And this is the iceberg model and the anti-violence continuum pyramid that we use to aware and train students at our university, from University of Albany, and this is widely used in a lot of educational institutions in the United States. Now, I'll be talking about some evidence-based educational interventions to combat the gender-based violence that has worked globally in different parts of the world. So I'll be talking about 5 of them: raising awareness through trainings and workshops, creating safe spaces, developing critical thinking and empathy, engaging men, and bystander intervention training. So the first one is raising awareness. You can see in the picture, these are some pictures from the trainings and workshops that we conducted back in Bangladesh with the young adults and adolescents, girls and boys, on gender sensitization. We taught the young boys comprehensive knowledge on consent. And also with the young children, we did workshops and trainings on teaching good touch and bad touch, because it's very, very important to learn to identify abusive behaviors from a very young age. That is definitely one of the preventive measures that we can take. And the second one is creating safe spaces. A lot of educational institutions have these spaces. Back in Harvard, we had Gender and Sexuality Caucus. That was also a safe space for the students, a safe environment to discuss issues related to gender-based violence, consent, and gender equality. Currently in UAlbany, we have Gender and Sexuality Resource Center, Women Resource Center, and Multicultural Resource Center. And all these safe spaces empowers the survivors to seek help, and it creates a supportive atmosphere where survivors feel comfortable in reporting incidents without fear of stigma or retaliation. This also establishes transparency and builds a sense of community and safety. So this is something that has been proven in multiple places. And thirdly, developing critical thinking and empathy. So education promotes safe action to support gender-based violence victims by teaching students to distinguish between right and wrong, nurture students' understanding of power imbalance and power relations, and teaches them to act as bystanders. There are also a toolkit available how to confront gender bias in school that we try to follow. All this is possible only through education. And the fourth point is engaging men. As I already mentioned in my earlier slide, that 99% of perpetrators are mostly men. So it's very, very important for us to engage men in the process. We cannot do anything without them. So programs and campaigns like He for She helps men unlearn toxic masculinity and embrace gender equality. The picture that you can see is from one of our workshops in a very remote region in Bangladesh. And He for She is basically one of our campaign Poriborton, which we call in Bangla. And this is a campaign where we teach young adolescent boys on consent and attitude towards opposite gender, and see how that helps transform their personalities and follow up after a specific time. So we teach men how to prevent gender-based violence in the communities and future generation, and encourage healthy masculinity. And there has been multiple studies which prove that better sex education for boys and gender sensitization would reduce violence against women. And that is the sole reason campaigns like these are in place. The fifth point is bystander intervention training. And this is basically very, very important and followed in a lot of places. As a bystander, when you see something is happening in front of you, some act of violence, some act of abuse is happening in front of you, what should you do? So this training is for that, like how to empower individuals as bystanders, how to provide practical strategies and effective intervention techniques such as direct confrontation or distraction or seeking help, etc. So trainings like these, strengthens community safety, and it creates a culture of accountability. It shifts the responsibility from just the victim to the entire community, making violence prevention a shared duty. This 5D model by Green Dot is used all over the world globally, especially in US, and we are also promoting it in Bangladesh through my organization, teaching the young adults and adolescents how to react when as a bystander when any act of violence is occurring in front of you. And how to integrate these gender-based violence prevention into educational curriculum. So there are a number of strategies. Some of them are very briefly described here, like comprehensive curriculum, engaging all stakeholders, promoting positive role models, and focusing on inclusivity. This basically brings me to the conclusion of our presentation today, which basically two of my previous speakers portrayed brilliantly. Upasanadi and Lucky Gill told how education is important and plays a very pivotal role in eradication of gender-based violence and why it's so much important. So through curriculum integration, preparing teachers, engaging communities, and advocating, educational institutions can provide guidelines to change the negative perception of women and provide hope to the survivors and play a key role in changing the society. So, the fight against gender-based violence is not just about policies or punishment. It is basically about prevention, and education is basically our strongest tool. So let's commit to using it wisely and effectively, because when we educate, we don't just inform, we create a lasting change. I would be ending my presentation with a very short video clip, which is bits and pieces from the work we do in my organization back in Bangladesh. We've been doing that for the past 8 years. We have hundreds of projects and campaigns, but these are just a small glimpse of our activities.
Anika, does it have sound?
Is the sound not visible? I mean,
No,
audible?
no, not at all.
I don't know why. Oh, okay. Got it. Yep.
Good. It's a lovely video. So good.
Thank you. Yes. I want you to hear the sound. Yep.
Yes. Good.
And that's basically all. And thank you all for my presentation. I'd be happy to answer your queries. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Anika. It was really eye-opener. And I wish you all the best with your work in Bangladesh and everywhere.
Thank you.
Well, we have audience, but I don't see any questions written in our uh, chat box. So I will suggest you, those who are inspired by this fantastic work by Annika, by Upasana, by Lucky, please contact them directly And thank you for joining us. And we hope to see you again soon. We host these side events at least 5 or 6 times with the United Nations. And I love this forum. And thank you again for showing up your fantastic work. Thank you very much. And we can stop recording now.